Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
Are we here?
I'm here.
Okay.
You're not here? Eric's
I'm here. I think I'm here.
You're there, Robert? Your name is Ted and you have no picture.
Okay, can you guys hear
I'm
me?
here. I just don't know if Eric's there.
Hey, Bob, can you hear me? Hold on a
I
second.
think you exercise all the spirits into the computer network or something, man.
God. Seriously, we need a freaking exorcism.
Can they hear you?
Yeah, they can hear me. They can just start.
Hey, can you guys see me with Bob?
No,
I got it.
no, it's just a white
Okay.
circle. And
Okay.
it says
Hey,
10.
hey, Bob and Philly Fan Man, I want you two guys just talk a little bit about the show we're on last night. I'm gonna restart my computer to see if I can get it to resync up so you see me.
I think
So,
maybe
just talk about
let
the
me
show
try
last night.
something first. Let me try something first because I'll turn my camera on. Maybe it's this joke I wanted to play because everyone wanted to talk about the hat. See? So I thought I'd start the show with the hat. So maybe the hat is messing with us. So I'll move the hat and let's see if we get better internet. Okay? I know that sounds dumb, but here we go.
We're doing science right now. Is this science debunking the hat? Debunking the hat.
You can't debunk that hat.
I think it's well. Oh, so anyway, I'll just continue talking since Eric's working on stuff. So, Veal, thank you for coming onto the show today. We do appreciate you coming in. We're expecting one more, hopefully, and we're going to talk a lot about witches and witchery and feminine magic because we're in feminine magic land.
Okay.
So, tell us some about feminine magic.
Actually,
Is
I
there a
don't know.
difference between males and female magic? There you go.
Witches and
Go
warlocks.
ahead.
Probably. I'm not a magic expert.
All right, I think I'm unfrozen. Whoa! Wow!
But you can see ghosts, which makes you magical.
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate you
I
thinking of
myself
us
saw
and not trying to
ghosts,
get us
but they didn't look dead. They looked alive.
Hi, everybody.
See, I think moving the hat
looking
helped
alive.
her.
Hey, it might have worked. So how's our both guests doing
I think
today?
it did.
Val
I think
and
it did.
Wisconsin?
I think it did.
Is she wearing a mask?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Wait,
wearing a
for
mask?
real you have to wear
I
it?
can't
How
see.
come?
I think she is wearing a mask.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm in LA right now, so
Even in a building you have to wear it, like in your office?
Oh, frozen. I'm frozen. We're all frozen.
Why?
This is frozen.
the entire state of California.
Well, what happens if you take it off?
What is this, man? We've got
They're
serious.
trying to figure that out right now.
I'm sorry?
They're trying to figure that out right now. They haven't stated consequences yet. They're just
So if
New
you took it
schools-
off, would they fine you? What are they threatening you with? I'm curious.
There at this time, there's no actual threat. Newsom, I believe it was yesterday, put the order in that by executive order, statewide mandate for masks in all public places, including places of employment, offices, restaurants, and parks, recreation, unless there's certain circumstances where you're allowed to take them off.
Okay, so you're actually at your workplace at the moment.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay. I know it's
I wouldn't wear it, but it's
No.
not my job. I get
Well,
it.
there are certain, it really is just at this point.
I like them when they make them out of bras, though.
Those are cool. Yes, I've seen those. Those are funny.
What you got to do, right?
Unless you have a big bra and it covers your face. And then
You walk into a post or something.
well. First of all, let's just. So it looks like we're not frozen. So it looks like we're flowing normal, which was a weird beginning that we
We
had.
got to be
That I was
targeted by the
frozen.
CIA on this. This is
I
crazy.
think there's a lot of ghosts.
I've
and
got
there's a lot
no internet, man.
Yeah, there was
there's a lot of
a lot of difficulty this morning. I was having a hard time getting in. I think everybody was. I actually have a few of my own followers here that were telling me they were having difficulty connecting. So yeah.
Wow.
When you talk about this, this centered and forceful of an energy, it's going to come in. You're inviting it to you, so you deal with what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and Silly Fat Man does have a haunted hat, so that doesn't help.
Right.
And I'm in a haunted room.
You're in a haunted room. All right, Bob, can we hear you?
Yes, I'm coming in now. I do work because there's no way your internet can be this slow. It's been fine.
Dude, I have the fastest internet you could get. Trust me. I'm a cable guy. But there might be it could be issues with StreamYard, with the amount of people that are doing live shows.
We're being targeted here, man.
Being overcrowded, or the ghost spirits energy is trying to screw us over.
You're a cable guy. We don't have bad cable.
Hell no. My work is perfect.
So I do see a mask. That's all I can see.
Yeah, she's out of work business. In California, they're forced to wear it.
I think I'm looked out. Gosh, man.
Yeah. This is definitely what it is. I mean, everybody can see it now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's, and it's both forces. It's what's going on around us in our, current reality of what we're looking at through everything going on, news outlets and friends and family and social media. But you've also got the spiritual war happening now. And it has, there's a lot of different philosophies on it. The bottom line is what is going on is masculine energies and feminine energies are going at it. It's like the mother of all mothers of, marital fights right now. Let's say that. So as these forces are going at it, it's just creating so much chaos, and it's bringing us into that age of Aquarius. We are in it now. We are seeing it happen. It's, it's everywhere. So it all comes down to our own personal choices in life. And that's really what exorcism and is all about, is dealing with demons and putting them in their place. Not all demons. Sometimes you have to exorcise people's angels as well. It's the energies that are out of balance. They're coming back into balance, and you have to inflict your will onto certain things to get that balance, but you also have to know when to pull back and give up that control. It's just, your own personal choices, and then living with your personal choices, dealing with that, because every choice creates a consequence. You deal with your own demons every single day. When you do exorcisms, you deal with other people's demons.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it, because the topic is exorcism and stigmata. Let's start with a stigmata. Now, what I understand is, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, the first time I ever really got into stigmata was when the movie came out, Stigmata, to be honest with you. I never even cared about stigmata. Now, what I understand is stigmata is basically, correct me if I'm wrong, is you go through what Jesus goes through on his final day, right? Going on the cross, getting, when you get nailed into his arm, you get that. Now, what was interesting about the movie, and then when I started doing research, the original picture of Jesus. Let me see if I can get it. Nah, that's not the good one. I think I have a closer one. Let me see if I get a closer one.
You literally just said a good picture of Jesus suffering on the cross.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know.
Get him from his best side.
I got a bigger one. And
it doesn't matter to me, because I'll
here we go.
Over why, but
get him with like some thumbs up, like
okay.
I know
Now, on the cross that most everybody has, he has the nails in his hands. But I remember in the movie, it was actually below the hand. And what I understand, Bob, we're talking about a little bit that they had to put the nails couldn't go through the hands, because if it was through the hands, the hand will rip right through it because the weight of the body. So the nail was actually below the hand. Is that correct, Bob?
That is correct. No, but wait, that's correct. What you guys are talking about is Sagittarius version. Now remember, we're Orion's version. So in this version, remember, we had 3 nails in our time, and this time he has 4 nails, and both his feet are not crossed anymore. They're both planted on the wood. You know what I'm saying? So this is incorrect. This is the old version. The new Orion Spur version, he has 2 feet on the pedestal. The cross is much lower to the ground. So theoretically, homie's standing. So yeah, he could actually have him in his palms now.
Okay.
Because he's sitting up. The old way, he would have had to be tied up and through his wrists because he's up high. But now he's on the ground, so he's like only a few feet up, and he's standing with 2 feet.
Well,
So that
it actually says in the Bible in a few places. The standard back then, I'm reading it back in Catholic school, but in the Bible, It was standard back then to either go through the palms or through the wrist. But if you look at it medically, the palms with the ligaments would be the strongest part.
Yeah, right here.
Actually go through the palm. And it says in the Jewish Bible, it is actually written that it actually went through his palm.
Oh, okay.
Now it's possible. Yeah, because now it's possible because he's got 2 feet. So all his weight isn't like, because he had 1 foot and they were nailed and he was pulling down forward. So all his weight would be pushing out it ripped through his hands. But now he's got 2 feet on the pedestal. So he's literally just standing. He could have it in his palms.
With my eyes. Yeah, with my eyes, I mean, I've seen it through the palms and him tied, so he wouldn't come forward. And then he's got the 2 in his feet because his feet are together, and he's standing on a pedestal.
I've seen him tied too. Yeah.
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 Okay. Now, what's the talk about? He was actually nailed to a tree and not a cross. What's the conversation on that?
And I've seen it said where it's hung now too. Like it's changing, or I don't know why, but yeah, it's in one of my videos, hung on a tree.
I've heard tree. I've heard post.
I think the point is that he was nailed to wood.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
That's where my thing is.
So, if somebody's experiencing a stigmata, do you have? Let me just ask. I'm sure not everybody has the exact answer because nobody really knows unless you live through it. Okay, so this is just a conversation. Now, do you believe that you have to be a religious person to experience a stigmata, or can it happen to anybody?
The Catholics believe that you have to be religious, and it's mostly a Catholic belief if you do look into it, even though there is now a woman that they're having a big deal. I can't even say her name, but she's over in some foreign country. It's like 2016 or something that she's actually experiencing the stigmata, and she's Lutheran. So the Catholics are having a big disbelief about it. So
is there much truth in that movie that came out? They always make things wrong, but I mean, I don't know about it other than what I've read or seen in the movie. That movie Stigmata. Have any truth?
I believe both. I believe that people of devout faith and knowledge will go through it, but those who have no knowledge of it can go through it.
I would just like to see it proven. I've heard a lot of stories. I'm not a big, stigmata person because I believe, like this lady in 2016, some reason I think you ought to put them in a room somewhere with a bunch of cameras and make sure they're not self-inflicted because like with Padre Pio, they were very thin wounds and they actually scabbed over and later than they reappeared. So I'm not saying I disapprove, even though I am Catholic.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I wanted to see, make sure that it does have the sweet smell to it and that they just suddenly start bleeding and appearing.
Well, I can explain it to you if you like.
Yeah, do that. I'm going to restart my computer because I'm basically like frozen. So while you explain, I'm going to restart my computer.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Well, okay. So I'm going to explain my version. I'm not going to explain the religious version. So stigmata, the wounds. I'll show you the thing here. I don't have the ability to put it up on my screen, but all right. So this is what's called a pentagram,
Pentagram.
right? So with regards to stigmata, this is what it stands for. So we can all associate, of course, his feet were affected, his hands were affected, his crown was affected, and the wound in his solar plexus chakra, right below the breastplate there. Is that correct? That's correct, right?
His side, yeah.
Okay. So that wound itself, we'll start there. It means inner infinity, which is the God particle, okay? The center particle within us, mathematical relation, blah, blah, blah. So the mathematical equations to this, I am still learning about because math is not exactly my strength. I can learn it, but it takes me a little while to do it. So it's also the symbol for the sun, okay? Now, all these words are like trigger words, right? So you've got the feet chakras. Nailing the feet chakras to wood binds it. Okay, it binds it to the earth because wood stands for is a earth element. It also represents masculine energy, binding the chakra to masculine energy. Now, the concept of Jesus as a man, channeling feminine energy would have been preposterous to a lot of people who knew about this. So to me, my belief is that Christ is a state of being, very similar to Buddha and many, many other symbols. And that the entire crucifixion was simply code, not only within the spirit world, but within the real world that we live in, between those who have great knowledge of these situations and the changes that go on when we go into different astronomical, whatever, ages, okay? Because Jesus, Christ, was the symbol of the age of Pisces, the fish, which is why there were fishermen who followed him and who what's the word? We're just humble fishermen, something along those lines, right? So you guys can hear me okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So that's the explanation for this. The feet chakras, the hand chakras, the feet chakras and the hand chakras, we don't have just 7 chakras. The 7 main chakras we do have. They are the energy portals within, our center, the center of us, as we stand upright. But we also have chakras in our hands, and they relate to different areas of our body. The feet chakra, they help conduct the divine energy from Mother Earth. Hand chakras, it's a give and take with hand chakras. So you receive with your left hand and you give with your right hand. Okay, you're giving out into the world. So that's what he did. He gave out into the world, and he got his message out, or whatever. But I don't believe it's a him. I keep saying him to help others understand. But anyway, the solar plexus chakra is there where he got stabbed, and that represents wisdom and power. Now, he was the epiphany of wisdom and power without even having to wield it, right? He just helped people. He wielded his power by helping people. The crown chakra spirituality. He said, I am the Son of God, and I am God, and he was. We all are. He just knew how it really works. And blood and water spilling from the wound. Blood is the life force. It's what drives us. It's what, it gives us energy. It conducts our energy within our body from our chakras. And the spilling of water is the spilling of the age of Pisces. So it's opened. It's here. It's spilling everywhere, right? The sweet smell that comes with exorcism, the supposed, when you obtain this state, it is sweet. It is beautiful. It's like smelling flowers all the time. It's just euphoria. So unfortunately, when the stigmata begins to manifest itself in our bodies. It's when we are obtaining this state without full knowledge of how to conduct the energies through those different energy portals. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm a little confused.
Yeah, it's hard to understand, but
I got a stigmata. I got a real one though.
Uh-oh.
I got a real one.
Uh-oh.
Go for it. I want to hear yours, Robert.
I showed it to you. I got it here to I got the scar on my side.
I know. I always like seeing that.
Oh, Bob, how often has City Fan Man seen your scar?
Hey,
I showed him my stigmata. I said, check this out, dude. I've got missing scars and new scars.
Well, nobody watches the late night show except like 6 of us. So, you know.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think nothing of it. But then
now, Bob, the scar that you have on you, is it like the same kind of a scar that Jesus Christ received during his last days?
The rib cage. I'm not religious. I'm not a Christian, so I'm not going to sit here and tell because
and we really don't know. Do we know what it looked like? We wouldn't know. It's just what they've told us.
It's what they told us in the book. I got one that appeared, but I mean, I don't know. It could be a birthmark, but it's just a scar. But I didn't think nothing of it because Jesus was stabbed. He was stabbed on. We joking about it on the left side in our timeline. It was the left side, but mine's on the right side. So it was like nothing to do with biblical stuff. I don't know where the fuck it come from. But then again, and then it switched. Then it switched to the right side in the Bible, and I was like, or right side in the painting. I said, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, because the heart was on the left, and so that's why they stabbed him there. Now it didn't make sense.
Now it's on the right because the heart's in the middle. So I got a little bit of God's like, here, you're not a Christian, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of a gift. I got a nice scar right here. But it's like I should have had your wife look at it because she's a medical person.
Well, when you come over, and
I'll have her look at it. I'll say, take a look at this. You tell me what you think. I'm not just saying it. You look at it and say, look, there's a freaking scar. I don't know where the hell that come from. And the scars on my ankle disappeared from that Turk's head. Now I've got new scars on my ankle. Brand new.
Let me ask you guys, in the movie, has this ever happened? Let me share this picture. Has there ever been, I don't know, stories about statues actually bleeding blood?
I know all about them.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's the story behind a statue bleeding blood?
We debunked it. We debunked it in debunking class. What they do is they use a type of it's like an oxide. They use it's basically rust. They use a type of metal paint underneath the paint, and when enough condensation builds up with water, it starts to rust underneath the paint. It's rusting. So it's rust water. It's oxidized metal. It starts to give it an appearance of bleeding. So they'll do the same thing. Well, they'll have a normal hand, and then the church will to bring people in for more money. They'll paint it, but underneath it's metal. It's a metal, and then once the paint thins or the rain or whatever, it oxidizes, rust. And so rust would start coming through, and basically you'd have like blood running down. It's just rust water, oxidized. So they were doing that back in the Middle Ages. They even had clockmakers making statues move in real life in churches, because remember, churches was a lot of money. This is a fact, guys. This isn't me making shit up. The churches actually had a lot of those like Chuck E. Cheese freaking dolls, like Chuck E. Cheese, moving statues in churches. They literally did it. Or the Jesus's head would tilt. It's all done with.
It's probably through Disney, funded by NASA.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Catholic Church literally had to send out, when they talk about debunking, they send people out to debunk. They send the church, and she's Catholic, if Veal knows. They send out experts from the Vatican, these guys are hard-hitting scientists that went to universities, and they're going there with testing kits, and they're looking at these things to see if they're actually if it's really something from God, or is it just another one of those churches trying to make money with a mechanical statue. 99.9% of the time, it's a mechanical statue with metal pieces underneath it. It's oxidizing and there's blood running all. I'm like, oh, this is all debunked. Yeah. But that was a major thing in the past. Big money, man, lucrative. I'm going to that church because that freaking Mary bleeds.
Yep.
Now, what about you three? Where Bob's saying it's debunked. Have you heard or believed that statues have bled?
I've not seen any bleeding statues personally. I haven't seen any ectoplasm coming out of walls either since the 1800s, but
No, I appreciate that. You know,
She's straight up. I have not seen it.
Yeah. Would she tell us? So that's cool. I like it.
That's straight up.
Yeah. That's all you can ask.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
it's like I have this whole theory on the Jesus thing, and I've had a lot of people get mad at me about it, but I've had spirits actually tell me this, and it just, everybody goes poof whenever I tell them. Like with the whole crucifixion thing, if you think about the Salem witch trials, and this is not coming from me, so y'all know this. Jesus, or Jesus of Nazareth, I mean, he was born a man, so he talked to spirits. He talked to Abraham and, a couple other people up on the mountain, or however you want to put the story. I've not really got into the Bible. But if you really look at it, he was a medium psychic kind of person.
Totally.
So people in that era did not understand that. So as is with the Salem witch trials, they crucified him, or they got rid of him. Well, all his followers and believers, they're going to, create the story. The Bible is written by people. I mean, if you tell one story, the next person tells that story, the story gets bigger. So I don't know if you know what I'm getting at, that I think the whole thing is a bunch of shabaka, but
Yeah.
well, part of the theory in that movie is getting to the message for that main priest guy to go find a missing piece from a Bible, because apparently, I remember in the movie, the real Bible was saying that you should be preaching God at your own home, not at a church, not at a place. And the church don't want that out because they lose money if you're doing it at home. Kind of like right now, virtual world, that a lot of these churches not even open, you're actually doing it from their home. You think there's any truth in that? There's a missing piece of a Bible saying that you should not be worshiping God in a temple. You should be doing it at home.
Yes.
Many missing pieces.
Well,
Remember, canons. Many missing pieces.
It even says in the Bible somewhere, because, I remember, where 3 or 4 more are gathered, I am there. So it doesn't matter if you're in a church or if you're in your own home. It doesn't matter if you're in the woods somewhere. As long as you and a few of your friends are together, the Lord or God is supposed to be there. So, I mean, I think you can pray wherever you want to. It's just, the churches needing the money. I mean, they've got bills to pay.
And Eric, give Brian this timestamp, because it used to be 2 or more, and now it's changed to 3 or more.
I didn't
Brian
know.
don't want this. No, you're fine. That's what it is now. Yeah. Last night you guys didn't have that.
I think it's both. You're saying it is the missing piece. So if you choose to go out there and worship with other people, or be devout with other people, or congregate in some way with other people to pursue whatever brings you closest to God or nature or the stars or whatever it is that makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
But you're also the missing piece, like you said, is that you should be doing it within yourself as well. So you should be having that balance to not always need to be around other people to get that feel good, thing, or be told what to do, or follow. You're also supposed to embrace your inner leader as well.
Yes,
Okay.
I like that.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Like I said, I'm not a religious person, so I still have I look at the church as the church gets free benefits from the government. They get almost like they have to pay like almost like zero taxes, but they all want your money. I feel like sometimes a church is more like a business versus
That's all it
are
is.
they really truly there to help people? And I'm not saying your church is not. I'm not saying that. But
organized religion is a business now. Hospitals are a business now. It's all about money. If you want to find God, you have to do it through yourself. You have to find your own spirituality. And if you want to talk to God, he's there. You just do it. You're not going to go somewhere and go sit down with a bunch of people and throw money in a box. Of course, you can't even do that now. I guess you either do it online, right? And now I just saw one yesterday. You can't even sing. So that sounds like a real fun place. Now, even if I was a church person, which I'm not, I don't want to go there because the best part of the thing was the singing. Now you can't have that. So it's silly. But
people think that churches are they think there's a building there and it exists and the minister owns it or the priest or whatever owns it. They don't own it, guys. They got to pay rent. So those churches are closing down. They can't pay their rent. They're getting loans. They get a tax-free handout from the people that come in. And now this successful fake fucking pandemic is now closing down the churches.
Yep.
Literally, if you're contributing to the corona fucking thing, you're closing down. You're condemning all the churches. I don't go to church. I don't care. But my grandfather was a minister in the church. I can tell you right now, if people didn't go to his church during his thing, he's not paying the rent for the building.
And this is the time they need that camaraderie and all the teachings that you learn from Jesus. To not do these things and follow in line what they're asking, and to go to church and to be able to hug each other and to be able to
have a conversation,
normally, right? And to sing. You're
I'm
supposed
not trying to get political here. I don't like political, but I don't think the churches are going to fall apart because Republican is what the president's a Republican and half the Senate's Republican. And they'll give free money to the churches to survive because they're all pretend that their religion, they're all for the people. So I don't think they're going to because listen, when the protest was happening, what did Trump do? He gets his people, walks out of the White House, and he goes to a church that apparently was on fire.
And holds it backwards. And he takes a picture of it backwards.
Upside down in the Bafflement position. That was great. I put that in my video too.
And Trump is full of shit. He doesn't care about the church. So I'm just saying, I think he gives money to the church on purpose so all the church-going people vote for them. So I don't think the Republican Party will allow the church to fall.
Well, the church will do whatever the tax dollars say because when they say close, they close. When they say don't sing, don't sing. I mean, they'll do whatever it is because they don't want to lose the money. It's money.
Yeah,
but it's not just churches, it's temples, they're all the same. They're all the same. You want to find spirituality, you find other like-minded people, and you get together and you find God that way. That's the only way you can do it.
That's why I'm wondering if Stigmata is really mostly fake, because if you're a church, you want people to keep believing in the church, kind of like the government wants you to keep believing in fear. They create stuff for fear. Church will say, hey, 5 people just have Stigmata here, just to say, well, if that's real, then the church has to be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why it's hard to know what's real and what's not.
Another moving statue.
Yeah.
When I was in England, guys, the coolest thing was the temples secretly stayed open. All the Muslims were still going. They were not going. Let's put it that way. They were going they were going. All of them were all the Christians. Well, I was in England. They're all atheists anyway. Pretty much the fucking back of the turtle's an atheist fucking planet or planet in this timeline. But at least the Muslims were going. They couldn't stop them. There was no cop going to tell a Muslim he's not going into his freaking temple. So we were down there getting groceries, and they were all coming in and out of the temple. Nobody had a mask on. They were coming in and out of the temple. They clean themselves. They have to clean their hands. They have to clean their genitals. They have to clean everything. They go into the mosque. The mosques were all open. And if they closed down one, a family would open up their house, and then like 30 people would go into the house.
Yep.
No masks, no nothing, into the mosque. They come out smiling and happy. They got their little carpets, and they're like, I'm like, look at them. They don't
see. If you do get that spiritual connection to God, because it says multiple times, "Fear nothing but me."
Yeah.
So if you have that, you lose all fear.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to wear masks. You have to do any of those things that they're telling us to do.
No.
Because you no longer have it. And if you trust God, he says, I've got you.
I've got your back.
You can't be on the fence. Do you trust him or not?
You trust him or not?
Trust you except for this, you know? You either trust him or you don't. It's there's no middle ground. In my mind, that's my theory.
All the churches were closed. Like all the Christian churches, even before. Put it this way. Let me say this: before the virus hit, fucking bullshit. Anyway, it's all fake. It's from the games, the war games they're playing in China. Anyway, before it even hit, nobody was in the churches, man. I'm running through the churches. I got camera. I'm doing footage. Nobody in there, man. There's nobody. What time is service? One guy asked me to stay for service. I felt bad because there was nobody there to listen. There was like nobody. Just me and one person with a camera. I said, I feel like I want to sit here and listen to you service, man, because there's nobody here. When do they come? Well, they kind of trickle in. Nobody trickling in nowhere, dude. It's like nobody. And I was in Ireland. Now, Ireland's Catholic, man, like diehard Catholic. And so we were in a Catholic church, and the priest was there too. He said, "Come on in." He's like, "Real welcome." In Ireland, so we were sitting in there, and I'm like, "You guys want to sit down? We're going to start service." Like, but there's nobody here, sir. The same thing in Ireland. There's nobody here. We got a town with nobody in the church.
Yeah, I just want to say from the chat, I know there's a lot of people talking about this religion in the chat, and I want everybody to understand in the chat, I'm not here putting down the Bible, the church, nothing. I just want to have a discussion. I know talking about the church is a hard topic because some people believe in it so much. If you say something that they don't agree with, some people like to bite your head off. And I want people in the chat. We're just having a discussion. We're just kind of having fun. So I apologize if I'm offending you or if you think
whenever I say anything, I always say that's my theory because you don't have to listen to anything I say. In fact, you could mute me. You know what I mean? It's like I just like talking. Somebody asks me a question, I'll give you my theory, but you don't have to believe any of it.
Well, remember this is the new church. This is the new religion. Now remember in my timeline back on Sagittarius' arm, the Pope did not wear Constantine P on his chest. There's a P with X. It means Constantine. I go, we have never. Constantine was not a saint. He was a general and a pagan at that, who started, he had all the canons put together to make the Bible, but he sent it all back to Rome to be made. He sent it all back to Rome to be made. Now, they've got a Constantine symbol everywhere I go in all the churches. I was like, what is that symbol? I've never seen that symbol before. That's Constantine. Well, what does Constantine have to do with the fucking Catholic Church? Other than he had the Bible put together, but he wasn't that significant.
I remember he used to be pagan.
Yeah, he was pagan. He was pagan until he died. He was, he just had the, but now remember, he was going to battle, and there's no such thing as an atheist in battle. And so when he looked up at the sky and he saw he saw multiple crosses in the sky. He was like, what magic, what God is doing this? Now, he's still a pagan, but he said there's a God doing something because there's no way crosses form in the sky. Kind of like our fucking chemtrails we have now. And anyway, so he asked, this is in history, look it up. So he asked the soldiers, which they had these proto-Christians, and at that time, Christians were not together. They were like comic book readers of Jesus. And they all had different versions of comic books. So everybody had a different comic book of Jesus stories. So he had them collected together and he had them all. He said, look, okay, if your God can put crosses in the sky, you think we could win this fucking battle? So the Christians like, yeah, God's got our back. That's a sign from Jesus. That's God, man. We're going to win the battle. So Constantine won that overwhelming battle thanks to what he thought was from the Christians. So that's when he says, okay, now we're all gonna convert to Christianity because, man, this is with this kind of magic, with these fucking crosses in the sky, we can't lose in Rome.
See, that's not what I remember on mine. I remember that the reason Constantine even became, so well known was because he joined the Christians and the pagans because he saw what the cross actually means, which is your central. He saw the knowledge that wait, I'm in control here. I'm gonna make this outcome what I want it to be. That's what I remember.
Okay, yeah, that's how again. You could probably be right. I mean, this is literature.
But no, this cool. I jumped so many times that I don't even follow religion anymore.
Yeah. What did you do? I didn't hear you.
I jumped dimensions so many times that it changes so much that I just stop following and I just start channeling. So I channel now. That's why I became a medium.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Feminine magic. Feminine magic. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about exorcisms. And well, it's always interesting because me and my daughter, we love watching horror movies, and we love the Conjuring movies. We love this, and we were watching a show about a person got possessed. At the end of it, they said that on a yearly basis, what's counted by the church, over 2,000 exorcisms are done every year. That is counted by the church. That's the one. They say there's more, but that's the ones that the church counts. There's some that they don't count. It's because they don't want people to even know about it. And I'm thinking, that's a big ass number. If
I believe it.
How much do they make for each one of those? I wonder, huh?
Yeah, if there's 2,000 exorcisms, why? I mean, I'm saying, I guess why? I mean, what could make a person possessed? I know you and Clown. Clown goes on some ghost hunting. And he searches demons. So it's your experience. How many possessions have maybe you seen in your lifetime? If you see me, you saw two of them.
I saw two, and I think really the norm here recently, what I have seen, if you're really spiritual or highly religious, is usually where it does come from, and sometimes it doesn't, like the two that I do know of. A lot of people now just chalk it up like a mental illness, but if you're really religious and you do have a mental illness, you cannot describe that illness, then you automatically think you got some kind of demons or something. So that's where all these exorcisms are coming in at. But if you're truly oppressed, you do have a dark entity that's attached to you, then yeah, I mean exorcisms. But I think a lot of them that has been coming up is related to a mental illness.
Okay, so basically you're saying you feel not all of it is fully real. Some it's mental illness, but the two that you saw, did you feel that those were mental illness, or did you feel those were real possessions?
Those were real attachments. I actually witnessed the attachment happen in one, and the other, happened over a period of time of 2 years. I mean, it slowly, broke down this person. I think we got on the subject before about attachments, dark entities liking things, they find people because they have something about them that they like or they miss or they want.
Kind of like Silly Man's hat. They like his hat.
You like his hat.
I like my hat. Someone likes
they like a hat. But they eventually, break that person down. And the whole thing, and a lot of people say, well, why do a lot of people end up, dying in exorcisms and things like that? Because with a dark spirit, to me, and I have experienced this, so I know it kind of firsthand, it's kind of a game to them. They're like, okay, I've got this new toy, and I'm going to make it better than it was whenever I had it. I'm not going to let no one else have it. If they try to take it from me, then I'm going to just, I'm going to destroy it, or you can't have it. It's mine. So that's how a lot of the exorcisms do go wrong. I mean, an exorcism really is just the power of suggestion. I mean, words have a lot of meaning. If you take a bully and a person, every day says you're fat, you're stupid, and I mean, they're at them all the time, that person starts to believe it. So the power of exorcism, I think, really is trying to get that person that has that attachment to, come back to the reality of the words that are being spoken, so they can, detach the negative spirit from that person. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, because that person's not willing to give up the things that have made them possessed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, with Goddess? Have you experienced or seen somebody possessed in your lifetime?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, and I do agree with with what you just said through the veil. I'm sorry.
Nicole's fine.
Nicole?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Nicole. I have actually performed some. I've witnessed some. I've seen some, and I do agree with what you said on the mental illness, because you're absolutely spot on. When you have an overabundance of that negative demonic energy coming in, or even angelic energy, it's not just demonic. Angelic energy can also lead to mental disorders, schizophrenia. When you have so much angelic energy coming in and you see things like, oh my God, this is real, but you're terrified of it, and you think everything's out to get you because of that, then, but anyway, I also think that it is, a forceful situation as well, sometimes in certain situations. And I can tell you about a couple of them if you want, if you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is why we're here. I want to hear some.
All right. Well, I'll start with my second experience, only because my first experience is actually a very long discussion, and I don't want to take up too much. So, my second experience.
Did it involve floating in the sky? Did it
I almost ended up in a mental hospital myself.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I almost checked myself in. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But no. My second experience was I had to go to the DMV, and I was registering some dirt bikes. No big deal.
Cool.
In and out. So I go in, I get the paperwork, sit down, fill it out, and I'm waiting for my number to be called. They give you a little number, and there's A, B, C, D. I don't know how DMVs, if it's all over the place or what, but they give you an A, B, C, and D, and then each of those numbers has each of those letters has a series of numbers on them. So mine was like B304 or something like that, and it takes a while. It's about an hour's long wait. The rate that they were going, they said. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking. What am I doing? I was researching Sumerian culture, I think, and the different gods, and I was looking at the situations with that. And I'm sitting there, and about 45 minutes into it, I noticed that these three people come into the lobby, and they come and they sit right next to me. Now, one of these people is obviously mentally impaired in some way, and she looked like she definitely needed caretakers, but she was coherent. She could talk to you. She just you could tell that she needed help. She had two caretakers with her. One was a male, one was a female. So they're kind of noticing that they're really rough with her. They're kind of bullying her a little bit, the way they talk to her, and that's kind of irritating to me, simply because in a caretaking position, I feel like everybody should be treated nicely. So anyway, I didn't say anything. I'm just sitting there doing my thing. And the woman caretaker gets up with the paperwork that she was filling out for the lady, the lady that was there. I don't even know how to refer to her. I call her the I call her the OG because she feels like she was an old, old ghetto, not ghetto, but gangster. Yeah, that kind of persona. So I call her the OG. So the OG is sitting there, and the lady gets up, comes back, and says, well, they can't process your paperwork because it's not written clearly enough. They can't read it. They said you have to rewrite it. So, well, let's just go, and we'll come back later. And the lady was like, no, you rewrite it. Like, she got kind of irritated with her, and I was like, all right, you go, girl. So she gets the paperwork, sits down, and I'm kind of looking at her in the corner of my eye at this point, and I'm watching this caretaker try to write, the form out, and it's the caretaker that's the problem. She's the one that can't write. Now, writing is one of my strengths. So I was like, okay. Now, during this time, the other part of my brain is noticing that the number calling stops or slows down at this point. It didn't stop at this point. It slows down. So I was like, okay. So noticing that and noticing the situation going on right here, I was like, I know why I'm here today. It just so happened to open up for me to go that day. So I was like, all right. So I start focusing my own personal will energy towards and outwards so it can flow into this woman next to me who needs it, because I'm basically giving her my strength. And I see that she starts writing just fine. She starts writing out. And I'm sitting there and I'm focused, right? And I'm staring at the back of the chair in front of me. And while I'm focused, I'm also noticing that there was a person sitting like up one row 2 seats over towards my left, and he's sitting there, and he turns around, not like this, but like this.
Whoa.
And starts looking at me. So as this lady, as soon as she was done writing, now this guy, as she's writing, this is when he turned around. As soon as she's done writing, the OG lady, she starts doing this. I'll take the mask off to give you the full. I know, right? She starts going.
Nice to see you.
I see you. I see you.
Oh God.
Just like that. Oh my God. I know that was a little over dramatic, right? Yeah.
No,
I love it.
No, that was perfect. It's exactly what I expected.
And now I'm sitting there, trying to ignore what she's doing and going back to what I'm doing because I know why I'm there. People get up, start running away. Like I guarantee you this happened. Somewhere on DMV footage is in there. So people start getting up and running away, and the 2 caretakers stand up, and I'm just sitting there calmly, and they're trying to get her to get up and move. And I looked up at the guy standing right in front of me, the lady's over here. And I was like, is there anything I can help with? Because I'm truly concerned. He turns around and looks at me like I'm the most horrible person in the world and says, no, she's just having a seizure. And I was looking at her. Woman's not convulsing. She's not, she's speaking. She just has this really nasty snarl to what she's doing. And she's looking towards, she's not looking at me, but she's looking towards where I'm sitting. And I was like, that's not a seizure. So anyway, I was like, okay. They get her up and they walk her outside, and bam, my number gets called. Now, in between the time that she started snarling and they got her out, the number calling stopped. Like, they were calling other numbers like the D and whatever, but the B number completely stopped. And I was like, okay. And apparently it was a good 10 minutes in between the time she started snarling and the time that they got her out, because I looked at my clock and time just went haywire during this. Yeah. So that was the second experience. Yeah. And then it doesn't end there, because when I did my thing after they called my number and I walk outside. As I'm walking outside, I start, walking next to the first 3 cars. I think it's like the handicap parking or something along. And every time I walk by one of those cars, the alarm starts going off. And the security guard is standing there and starts yelling for like his friend or the other guy, to hurry up and come over because all these alarms are going off.
Good thing you're wearing that, because they think you're robbing it.
I know, right? It was 3 cars, and that to me is the Trinity, the saying, hey, you did what you're supposed to do here. So
awesome.
Now let's say this. Let's say Bob there, right? Let's say Bob right now. Bob's possessed. Where I think Bob is possessed, because just look at him. He's scary looking. Yeah. Okay. Now, look at him. Look at him.
It's the Bobono monkey in him. I say it wrong. Everyone got mad at me the way I say it.
Bobono.
So if I want to get rid of the demon that's inside him, do I have to be assigned to a church to do it? Technically, I know they say a church has to a minister. I don't know who does it, but does it have to be a church person to be able to get rid of this demon, or can technically anybody get rid of the demon?
No, you can do it, because when I was done and when I went to go stand, at the counter to do my thing. Now I work in multiple frequencies. I'm a multitasker, but just by heart. So I that bleeds over into the spiritual world as well. So as I'm standing there completing my work and working with, this woman who was so nice. I mean, one of the nicest ladies I've ever met. And I was calling the angels to come down and exorcise this woman.
Yeah, it does help if you have some knowledge of the world of demons and angels.
It can. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have knowledge of the spiritual aspect of it, you can harm yourself depending on what you're dealing with. But think about it this way. We all have demons in us. They drive us every day. You go into the store and you're interacting with people, and maybe the woman at the desk has a bad day and she makes a snide comment. You're being confronted with her demon. at that point. Depending on your reaction to that demon is what can or cannot put you at risk. Obviously, if you bring your gun out and say, "Did you just say that to me?" or or bring a hail, if you start blowing up in some reason, somehow, obviously you're going to bring that energy back to you, and that hurt demon is going to respond with right? But if you respond to it with, "Hey, I'm sorry if you're having a bad day today. Just know that you seem like a really nice person." You could probably change that, and that automatically gets rid of that demon.
Now, I would say it would be fun if Stoney Fan Man and myself, like my picture, if we're in an outfit doing an exorcism, because we will look cool.
We look cool.
Just like a Stoney Fan Man wearing that hat.
I don't know if I put the fish hat on, but we'll wear something. We got lots of hats here.
Yeah.
But now, let me ask you guys this. I want to try to understand this part.
The fish.
I know Val knows Ed and Lorraine Warrens. Ed was a demologist. He went to college for demologist. What the hell is a demologist?
A demonologist?
Yeah, what is it?
It's just pretty much like a mechanic. It goes to mechanic school to learn about cars. He went to a college to learn about demons and the aspect of demons, how they work, their names. I mean, that's why a lot of people turn to the church, because a lot of these people, and especially Catholic belief, they do have schools that you can go to. And I mean, I would want a certified mechanic to work on my car. I mean, so a lot of people go to the church, and especially being a spiritual event, they want somebody in that field, like a demonologist. And Lorraine was a clairvoyant. She just helped Ed. But yeah, he went to know about those things and help as far as exorcisms.
Well, I hope the teacher was at least a minister or a priest, right?
They usually
are. A professor teaching how to learn about demons. It just sounds kind of, not weird, but you know what I mean.
Well, no, they have those classes, dude. I took mythology. It's the mythology. I mean, it's not mythology to them because they believe it's real. But I mean, I had to take all those mythology classes. That's why I know a lot about mythology. It's demonology, same thing, except they're dealing with actual biblical book, which actually there's names to these fucking demons. There's archangels there's names to all these angels, and there's names to and even in the Torah, there's names to fucking angels in the Torah. Archangels.
All the stories, they all talk about the same events. It's just different.
Same event, yeah. Okay. And so they have demons with names too. So there was a battle at one time, according to the mythos. In the heavens, there was a good group and a bad group, and they fought each other. And one group had to yield to the other group, and that group that yielded is down here on the fucking plane of the earth, running around possessing people.
Yeah, and they believe too, if you know the demon's name, then you can cast it out a lot easier. So
if you know the name, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just curious, because in the movie The Conjuring is supposed to be based on a true story of one of Ed and Lorraine's files, one of their cases. And I remember during the movie when the girl was possessed, he goes, the priest wasn't there, so they said, "You could do it," but he goes, "I'm only a demonologist. I'm not authorized to do an exorcism." But he did it anyway and got rid of it. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah.
Because in the movie they made it sound like only a priest can, but since he's a demonologist, he has the knowledge of it, but he wasn't supposed to be allowed to do it.
Yeah, you have to get okay by the church. And usually what that is in the Catholic faith is pretty much asking the principal if you can go down the hallway. I mean, you know how to go down the hallway, you know how to use the bathroom, but you got to ask for permission. And Catholics have a lot of rules and regulations.
Yeah.
I want to film Bob just to walk into a church and ask, just to see what the reaction is. Just to ask him, can I get an exorcism done?
Can I get an
Is it like an application you got to fill out? Yeah, this person is dead. He's spitting blood. He's spitting acid.
You have to meet.
They test him for COVID before they get in the exorcism.
I got COVID tested for. He don't got no demon in him. He got the COVID virus.
Yeah.
That man right there is possessed by
Go
COVID.
home. Get rid of your own demon for 2 weeks.
Yeah. You need to go.
And drink lots of spirits. That'll help.
Yeah, the Catholics, it takes years to figure out if you're actually possessed. That's like Ed and Lorraine, they would go on, their investigations, but they'd have to, back and forth to the church. They have to give the church proof. So the church has to really prove, that you're having these demon problems. Then the church will give the okay, fill out all the proper paperwork. It takes a while.
Well, Catholics, they're not idiots. They went to, people don't understand, Catholics are just a minister. They went to universities. And a lot of these priests, they've gotten degrees. They went for psychology, psychiatry, doctors. These are people that with credentials. So they go there first as a psychiatrist, or a psychologist to see what this person really suffering from, not a demon. So they do all those tests first. I mean, you got to make sure. You just can't walk in and say you're possessed by a goddamn smell it.
Bob, I understand that, but let's just say my daughter is possessed.
Yeah,
she's really possessed. I mean, can I really wait a month or 2 months for them to come out here and get it out of her? I mean,
I'll do it. I got it.
Why do we have to wait? I mean, if you get 2 or more, as it used to say, we could do it.
We could do it ourselves.
We could do it. Jesus teaches that.
You're right. We got swords.
You got swords? Everyone bring their sword? You're always supposed to bring a weapon on this show. Did everyone?
I've got this. Wait, I've got these tools. I've got these hand tools right here.
Yeah, I got that too.
Where's your girl's tool? Come on, y'all gotta have tools for these spirit.
Yeah, wait.
Where's that? It doesn't look safe. What is it?
My sword is at my other house. Sorry.
See, I will bring this, and then Richard can bring the Torah. Eric, I don't know. You can bring a comic book.
I got several different ones here. We'll just
we got it covered, man. I got some. I think I got the Quran here somewhere. And namre Patre, e Filii, e Spiritus Sancti.
Okay, I have no idea what that was.
So it's Latin. It used to be. Hold on. It's in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And now it's changed. It's changed to Spirit. I'm like, whoa, that's a weird one. It changed to Spirit. It used to be Holy Ghost.
Joking aside, me and Bob was talking. It seemed like lately here at this house, I don't know if we're talking a lot more about paranormal or something.
This is not a lie.
It seems like something is happening. Because let me tell you what happened. I have 2 dogs. I have a puppy and I have this 16-year-old Chihuahua. All right. My Chihuahua was barking behind a screen. She wanted to come out. So I went in the backyard. I walked up the steps, and I'm not lying. I know what I see with my eyes. I saw the screen door just open, and my Chihuahua just sitting there. I didn't see her nose like moving it. She never done that before. She never used her claws like that. But I just saw the screen open, and I'm like, okay, that's okay. It's like somebody let my dog out before I even got there, and I'm not lying. I swear I didn't see her move.
Not lying.
At all. She was just sitting. Now Bob had a watch. He put it somewhere.
It's our dad's watch.
And get this. This happened last night. Bob has a machine that has a piece of plastic.
It's a CPAP. It's a CPAP with the nose part of the CPAP.
He couldn't use it, and the piece was gone. Now Bob thought it might have been my puppy, because the puppy was attacking this horse last night during a show. I think Silly Fan Man, you saw the dog attacking the horse.
All of this stuff.
So we thought maybe the dog attacked it, but I found the plastic piece on the other side of the room. No bite marks, no nothing. Like something took it off his machine. Now I was watching my dog. My dog was in that corner chewing on the horse. Bob's machine was on this part of the house. The dog was never near there. So there's no bite marks. There's no nothing. But this plastic piece was taken off and it was put somewhere else. Now, Bob had a watch that was moved. I saw a screen move. Now, I'm guessing it's not a ghost.
Don't forget about your son. So Eric and I are going down for tacos. We're driving in his car for tacos. And then Eric gets a call. He's driving the car, and he gets a call from his son. He says, "Son says I want to get locks for my bedroom door." Eric's like, "What?" Because he's right next to my room over here. I'm gonna get locks for the door. Eric's like, "What do you need locks for your bedroom door? What do you need?" Because Eric, he said something about some cigarettes got stolen or got moved, or switched, or something happened in the bedroom.
You want me to help you with that?
What's that? What happened? Yeah.
All right. Remember I had told you about the spirit attachment that you had?
Oh, I have one. Oh, yeah.
No, Eric.
Oh, Eric. Okay. Good.
I remember you saw my dead brother sister.
Oh, that's
Okay.
his room.
And do you remember? I think I was trying to tell you in chat about the Cigna ring that they wanted. I think really what's going on there is they're trying to get your attention with the littlest thing as possible because it takes so much energy to do things. So they're trying to get your attention so that you would know they need something. And I've already told you what they needed or wanted.
A good exercising.
I can't remember what you said they needed.
I seen an insignia ring. It's got like a large red stone. It's got some kind of writing
Dad's
across
ring.
it.
Is that Dad's Spreckles ring?
Could be. It could
Yeah,
be.
you guys said last time. Yeah.
Dad's Spreckles ring. My dad got after 20 years they give you a gift, and he got a watch and a ring. It's with Spreckles sugar.
Well, take
talking about that ring.
Take that ring and put it somewhere visible and speak to him directly and say, if this is what you wanted, I'm sorry, and just leave it at that and see if everything calms down and just leave that there.
Now somebody said, did you give it a name? Should I give it a name?
You could call it Mike. It's probably Mike. Probably our dead brother, dead gay brother. Because all these artifacts are my dad's, and he keeps taking it. He keeps taking it. Well, he's the oldest brother, so now I'm the oldest. So they're giving me all of my dad's stuff. They've been giving me some of my dad's stuff that Mike had. Now it's giving it to me because Mike's dead. So what is he going to do with it in the dead world? So they gave me the watch, and I put a battery in it just the other day.
You can't have that Mendota belt buckle. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got the Mendota belt. Yeah, you guys been giving me all that stuff, and then next thing you know, things are going. Those things you guys are giving me keep disappearing. What the hell, dude?
I mean, technically, it's friendly. I mean, nobody's been hurt.
With my hat. My hat enjoys the show and laughs.
It makes everything flicker.
Yeah. Well, that's why I put it back there. It was messing up the whole show. I put it in front of the show as a joke, and then Eric couldn't do anything, and I moved it, and it all was fine now. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
We need to exercise that hat, dude. We need to exercise that hat.
I like it.
Now, since his hat is friendly with the attachment, but if we did try to, get rid of the nice attachment, can it turn bad?
They can get ferocious sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's attached to that hat and it doesn't want to be away from that. I mean, if it's not harming anything, I would just leave it be. Why make? We
have good conversations, so he's a good listener.
I mean, it's like taking a toy away from a kid. What's going to happen?
I would what do they call that? Smudge. I had my first house. Well, a house I sold was haunted like a son of a bitch. I even had a gal at work. I'm a science. I'm like, I ain't no, but it was haunted. And so a lady at work wanted to come smudge the house. I said, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna be fucking honest. When it comes down to smudging or any kind of working with the dear spirits, I get women. I'm gonna be honest. I get a woman to do it. For some reason, it's more effective. When a woman smudges, which means
as soon as you got the hat. As soon as you got the hat,
there's flickering again.
He's saying hi.
Am I seeing things? Did you see that? Did you see the camera flickering with this hat?
Yeah, I'm watching it happen live. Yeah.
But when smudging was saved, I have a gal do it. Always the gals, and it works. Always. I mean, I'm gonna get a guy. Well, that's not fair. I can nah, man. I'm gonna get a woman, hands down, to get me a smudge the house, please. I want feminine magic. It seems to be stronger here in this place. Masculine magic don't work.
Maybe the ghost is pissed off.
Oh yeah, everything's flashing. But I have a thing about this place is feminine magic, strong female magic in this Orion Spur. Stick with the women priests. I think there's even I forget her name, Doreen. She's also a Mandela affected person, but she's in Israel, and she's talking about how the rabbis are misinterpreting the Torah, and they're not reading. They're reading it like men when you're supposed to be reading it like women. So I'm like, so there's a different way of reading the Torah in a feminine version.
Yes.
And I'm like, Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could read it in a masculine and read the Torah in a feminine.
Yeah.
And they have different magic.
Yes. Yes. It's
Yeah.
the point of view that you're viewing it from.
Yeah, it's kind of cool like that. Yeah. Sticking with the women priests in this place. No offense to the guys. I like old clown though. I'm not gonna put down. I'll let clown. He's exception to the rule.
Yeah, when you use feminine energy to exorcise a demon, it's more gentle than masculine energy, but sometimes you need that masculine energy to come in and basically manhandle it, you know.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. So
like clown.
Like I don't know what clown's doing.
Where's clown at? Come over here, demon. Come kill me.
I think he needs to invest in him a 24-hour priest. Just take him around with him.
Yeah. You're gonna bring him a priest, yeah, because that man's gonna get possessed one day. He keeps bringing it on.
Well, dude, a day after he did an investigation, he actually showed he had a bruise on his face.
Bruise on his face.
Yeah, and he got his hand hurt or something too in this last one. Wow. I don't know what happened.
I believe it. Yeah. There's when I was in England, there's a feminine energy of the place I'm staying. It literally, I showed it on camera. It was a handprint on my leg, and then there was scratches all over my fucking leg. I was like, man. I think I showed it on camera that one time. Is a woman.
Now, some of those in England, believe it or not, are imps. Because imps have 3 fingers.
3 fingers with long nails.
So whenever they reach out for you, they think you're getting the Trinity, when actually it's an imp that scratches you. So you really got to know your energies there. But a lot of those are imps that are scratching people.
Oh. Yeah.
Wait, you're saying that you find scratches? Because that's interesting. Because since I've had my spiritual awakening, every once in a while I'll wake up with scratches around my ankle.
Yes.
And yes. I know I didn't get too stoned and I don't have a cat in the house, or it wasn't a hat. He has no hands. So that's interesting because they do happen.
3 scratches. Eric got the 3 scratches one time. We're on the show.
On my toe. And we had no cat. I don't have any cat. I do have a Chihuahua that sleeps in the bed, but the Chihuahua don't act like a cat and scratch feet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it's like I said, especially in England, it's compared to here. Oh my God, man. It's older. It's got a lot of mythical magic in England, man. I almost get addicted to it. There was another guy with the Mandela effect named Scott Harrison. He used to put out videos of him going to the cemetery, and he's actually getting results on his box in England. Because you can go to a cemetery in England 24/7. It could be 3 a.m. There's no cops going to run you out of there. Well, maybe now with a corona, but before you could go anywhere at any time. I mean, there's a lot of ghost investigators in England just experimenting with the little voice boxes.
They're about the oldest part of the country, and if you really think about it, they were the most evil empire in the world, trying to take over the whole world. They killed a lot of people.
Oh, God.
There's been a lot of death because of England. I mean, Britain itself is an evil empire. They're worse than the Nazis.
Yeah, if you're an empire,
they're trying to take over Scotland, Ireland. I mean, they had a lot of death. And not just kill people, they tortured people.
There is an energy.
There has to be bad energy. I mean, they would torture people. Cut you up. I mean, my God.
I've never been attacked by a ghost before until I went to England. And I'm like,
they would burn women if they thought they were witches. They didn't have like a real court case. Let's burn them. And most of the time they got burned because their man was cheating with one. They didn't want to believe the woman. It was the devil, so they burned the women.
And we always like to try a little bit of the different parts of this show. The Mandela on the Salem witches now is the majority weren't burned, which is really weird to me. Most of them were either drowned or I think stoned. Not like stoned, but big rocks and stuff. And very few were burned at the stake. I mean, wasn't that the whole point of the Crucible that they forced me to read in my indoctrination of high school or whatever? I mean, it just doesn't. These things are weird. When Brian can take this one too, whatever the timestamp is.
I see a lot of them that were hung, but it's like back then. I mean, even kids would say, they didn't like their neighbor or something, wouldn't give them cookies or something, and they go and start telling lies, and they would have her hung as a witch. little kids would start.
God! Yeah. They also had that problem with being high, because I'm not debunking it, but there was evidence to show that there was a type of fungus that grew in their flour. They didn't do it right, and so when they were making this flour, they're making bread. That bread was like LSD. It was like acid. They were eating acid bread. So they did have a little bit of people. Now, I mean, they're high. So, I mean, if you're a young girl and you're on acid back in that time, technically you're seeing through the barrier. I mean, even though you're high, you might be seeing some spirits and all kinds. I mean, man, they get accused of witches real fast. But I know the bread had contamination in it. They did prove that. So I just think that they were all tripping.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I want to tell you a story about an old lady that I knew whenever I was younger. She had one of these houses that had no natural electricity. That's just how she lived. She's like she's like 93 and I'm like 14. So that kind of tells you way back there. But she had one of these old timey stoves that had the cabinets and the flour bin that tilted out.
Yeah.
Well, she had chickens in her house, and the chickens would roost up on this flour bin, and she'd have it open. Yeah, and they were pooping in there, and she'd make everybody pies and bread, and I'm like, I am done with cookies. Yeah.
Oh God, no. That's a good story.
Yeah, everybody loved her food, and I'm like, if you've ever been to her house, you wouldn't need it.
Tastes like bird shit. I bet they had some shrimp in there. I bet there was some fungus growing in that too.
Probably. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I knew they put the stones on them. They put the stones on the witches. I remember they put the stones on their chest, and they put them underwater, and it says, well, if you're truly not a witch and you're a Christian, God will save you. And as they drown with rocks on their chest, like
yeah. Well, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just like I watched James True, and he said they used to take the people in the insane asylum that were like hearing voices, their split personality, and then they just like mess up their brains with lobotomies and shock treatment until they didn't complain anymore, and they're like, "Hey, we cured him.
We cured him with a lobotomy." Which I don't know, is that possible? I mean, because our frontal lobe cortex has changed, so we don't have the creativity center here anymore.
You're right. We've talked about that. It's moved.
We don't have the creativity center here no more, so the lobotomy wouldn't work anymore. It wouldn't. Yeah. Well, you used to be able to go up the nose. You could have went through the eye.
I'm pretty sure eventually you'd scramble it enough where it does, quote, work every time, Robert. 100%.
Well, they do have the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where he, he pretended to be crazy, and then they actually fucking gave him a look. Like, oh God, that's so sad. And
then that giant guy at the end got out. That was cool.
Look at it like the
Indian. Medical... Yeah, in the end, the Indian escaped.
Yeah, the Nephilim. What were you saying, Beal?
I was looking at it as a medical standpoint one time. People use 10% of their brains for most of their senses. Just think if you're using 30%, okay, your eyes are enhanced, your ears are enhanced. What if you are seeing extra things and hearing extra things, and you can see the micro bugs that are on your skin? People, you see them picking. I mean, they might not be insane. They might just be completely wigged out that they're using more than 10% of their brains.
Yeah. They had a movie kind of like that. It was a horror film, Bug, where everyone thought they had bugs, but it was just in their head. So it's that kind of thing, I guess. It's just overstimulation of something.
Or they could just see the Matrix. Maybe they're mistaking it as bugs. Like you said,
I seen a good one on Matrix and Deja Vu just the other day.
Now, Bill, didn't you do an investigation on a place called the Selch House? Did I say that right?
The Sugar House?
Stripper House. That sounds even better. Oh, the Suture House.
Sugar.
I want to go there.
Yeah. Let's go back to the first.
I live in it.
That's your own house? So you made a video about investigating your own house?
Mm-hmm.
During your investigation, what did you find out about what's going on at your house? What's going on there in the first place?
Well, I have still yet to figure it out. And this room where I'm at right now, I'm actually surprised I'm in here, but I got, my Reiki on and I salted before I came up here. But I came up here the other day, and it's been, accumulating the last couple of weeks. And I have 5 spirits in my house. I know those 5 spirits. I talk to them. I see them every day.
Wow.
Hey, how you doing? You know, no problem. And I walked up here the other night because I wanted to see our new kitten that we have. And it was like walking into a mall. If there was 100, there was 200 people in this one room, and it's probably a 16 by 16 room. And it was just so, I mean, full that my head just started hurting. I got nauseated. I had to literally go outside. I got physically ill. I can't stay up here. The cameras either go wrong. I'm on live and my mic needs for no apparent reason. My dog's been acting weird. He won't sleep in his crate. You know, he's crate trained. He goes.
Sure, you're watching a video from Bob's channel?
Huh?
You sure you were watching a video on Bob's channel? You got ill?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Got to debate. Got to
debunk. It's been crazy up here.
Were they malevolent, or did you feel like they were there to harm?
No, and that's the thing. You know, all the spirits that I seen in this one room, and I actually, contacted them with the little box, and they said, they were having a reunion. Reunion of what? They don't need to have a family reunion in my house. But I don't know what was going on.
Maybe they thought it was the most understanding of them to do that.
That'd be weird. I'd freak out if I walked into a room and there was like 100 ghosts. I'd be like, "What? Why? Why are you here?"
I wish my daughter would have recorded that, because I was like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. And whenever I did leave, there was somebody, directly in my way that I had to back up and move around them. That they were that much of a presence on me. And I was like, excuse me. And I go to move around the door, and my daughter's got one of those little cat cameras in here. And she said there's an orb about the size of a dinner plate that goes around my behind and up my back. And I said, did you catch that? She's like, no, I wasn't recording it. And I was like, oh my God. But yeah, we're going to do another full investigation here.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just got did you guys get one of these? I just got a ear thing. It went, whoa.
I didn't get that.
If I heard you right.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
But you guys are about whatever, half hour away, so maybe it'll be here soon.
Yeah, I got a big whoa in my ear.
So if I heard you right, even if you feel sick, it's not necessarily mean it's a bad spirit. You can feel sick, just the presence of it being there.
Yeah, so many.
Is it usually stronger, maybe? That's why somebody could feel sick versus the other ones, the other 5 you see?
Yeah, the ones that are, really trying to connect with me, and they try to take over, but I don't let them. They usually will make me physically sick. And especially if they're a really darker spirit, then I'm sick for days. So yeah,
well, they try to possess you, where you might need an exorcism.
I salted and blessed my house, so it's not as heavy up here as it has been, but they are still here. Not as many. I see like 12, but
now we've got it. Since you practice in it, in a way, do you bring ghosts back to your house by any chance?
No.
Oh yeah, right. Don't they?
I have. I have done that both with and without knowledge. When you go out to different places, you do get attachments. You do get energies. You absorb energy and you give energy. So every day we interact with other people. We absorb their energy and we carry it with us. Everybody influences us every day. That is our reality. So, it's very important that you release that energy in some way. So what it sounds to me like is happening with Nicole is that, I think you're being called to do a little bit more. Because if you've not experienced that many and that, you're basically leveling up, and they're saying, hey, they want you to understand that take this seriously. You have a good gift. You have an amazing gift. Let's apply it a little more than maybe you are right now. But bringing it home, when I went, I got hacked, right? One of my shows got hacked, and the material that I was going to display was on what's called the Keysville Massacre. We went to go investigate this site. Now, prior to that, we did a spirit box session just in my home to contact, to see if they even wanted to talk. And when we went there, it was a different person they were speaking to. It wasn't the same person. We did our thing, came back, and something came with one of the people that was in our group. It was an attachment, and that was another exorcism that I had to perform on the spot. Now, that was actually a unique exorcism because not only was I dealing with the spirit that attached itself to this individual, I was dealing with the demon that was in the spirit, that was in the person. It was in my house. So it did get very aggressive very quickly. So, sometimes you have to do things on the spot because of what you're involved with. A similar situation would be like bringing your work home with you, and it could be spirits, it could be other people's demons, it could be just the negative energies that get attached to different areas that you go to. But when you bring your work home with you, so to speak, just anywhere you go, you bring it home with you. That's when you should do a cleansing, do grounding yourself, and think, what's so-called in the light as opposed to being in, staying in the dark. So.
Yeah, with me seeing spirits, I mean, if I see one, I mean, you're not allowed to get in my car. I do sage, my equipment, myself, just out of protection. I do wear my Reiki and all that before I leave an investigation. And oddly enough, as soon as I get home, I do a complete salt bath. So I don't see how there's anything that I can bring home.
A salt bath will help to get them unattached from you?
Oh, yeah, it's cleansing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if Silly Fan Man takes his hat and put it in salt water, will it get rid of it like holy water?
Very possible. I mean,
Holy water.
I don't know why he would want to get rid of it. It seems kind of harmless.
I know. I just want to experiment. Now, if you wanted to, I'm not saying anybody could do this or not. I'm not recommending this. Now, say you saw Bob in person, and you got 5 ghosts in your house. If you wanted to, is there a way to
fight a dragon.
one of your ghosts and attach it to him?
When you're dealing with dark magic, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if I want to send them over there, but
because I want to take Bob to a graveyard because we're gonna start filming a movie.
Send it my way.
And can I attach him a ghost from a graveyard?
Exercise it.
Like a Ghostbuster?
It'd be neat, right? It'd be good TV if I could get Bob attached.
I want to fight ghosts.
I'd like to hear Nicole's input on this.
Yeah, well, ghosts to me are people. I mean, I see them as people. Would you want someone to super glue you to somebody that you may or may not like?
Maybe that person's good looking. I don't know. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't mess with, the spirits. I mean, because, they have feelings too. I mean, a lot of people think they're just, rambling balls of energy, but they're just in a different realm through a different veil than we are, and they are people. I mean, you have to give them as much respect to them as you would anyone else.
Yeah. They're dead. They didn't make it. They failed. No. They didn't make it. You died. You failed. You can't go. Move on to the light. Go.
They don't like what you're saying, Robert. They're taking out your audio again.
I think they're taking his audio out.
But basically,
they
what you're saying is a failed ghost has to then go to the subway, apparently, and find a really odd-looking dude, and he'll teach you how to flick a can with your mind. I think that's what Rob was trying to say, but they wouldn't let it.
I think I've seen that movie.
That's a great movie.
I want to see ghosts. I really do, because to me, if I got to see a real ghost in front of me, I don't know, talk to them or whatever, then I know there's got to be something after you die. It's like there's got to be proof of something, because if you die and you become a ghost, that's a good thing, right?
Well, let me ask you this, Eric. What would you constitute as proof?
What would I say proof? I mean, like, if I could see one and talk to them. I'm hearing stories. I'm not saying I don't believe anybody, but I have yet to experience. I mean, I see things move, but I have yet to experience a floating. I don't know, an object, a floating ball, or
like an apparition or a mist.
Yes. I have not. I'm not gonna lie. I have not experienced one of those yet in my life, and I want to.
I have.
I can give you a way that you can try.
Okay, how can I try?
Have you ever done like those picture books where you stick your nose to it and have to bring it out till you see the picture? You know how you make your eyes do that fuzz out?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can do that automatically, like focus something far away and make your eyes do that fuzz out, and not really study on what you're looking at, but your eyes are fuzzed, and just kind of take a glance, and you are more than likely possible to see a piece of energy. You might see a whole different person standing there. You might see some kind of shadow, but it is possible that way. I've seen people actually, be able to do that, fuzz their eyes and see things.
Eric, if you remember back in the day, I forget what decade it was, but they had those paintings, the 3D paintings that you had to unfocus your eyes. That's kind of because I've done what she's saying, and there are things you can start to see. But my eyes help it on my own, because without my glasses, I start doing that anyway. So makes it easy.
Okay. No, I'll try that.
Yeah, just train your eyes to do that.
I did a show on. I was trying to bring one in through a Ouija board. I'm not saying that's a good idea, but I even tried a Ouija board to talk to somebody, and of course I failed.
Well, what made you fail? Why do you think you failed?
Because it's a Ouija board and it's evil. That's right. That's all.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I mean, I want, I've been trying hard. I want to see one. I want, doing whatever I can. I'm open to it. It's not that I don't believe it.
Have you done it? Have you done it by yourself, or do you do it? Have you tried it with another person?
I have done it with people in the past, and I know they were moving it with their fingers. One of those kids faking it, and I have tried it by myself, and of course by myself it's never happened.
Recently.
The last time I have a video on my channel, one of the very first 2 or 3 videos of just by myself doing a Ouija board on camera. And of course nothing happened.
Okay, I would suggest trying it with another person as you are now, because I know you're basing your experience on when you did it when you were younger, right? And
this video I did is probably just a year old.
But that was by yourself.
Yes, that was by myself. With somebody else when I was younger, yes.
Right. So sometimes you just need a little bit of extra energy, or the spirits that you're dealing with, because you may need a lot of energy to yourself, for the different things that you're doing. So if you don't have enough energy to share with a spirit or an entity that you're trying to talk to, it's not going to move by itself. You're going to need somebody there to help bring more energy into it. Or you can do it with, crystals and stones. And
do you recommend, like, say, hey, Bob, let's do a Ouija board, but let's do it at a graveyard. You think
can I throw my disclaimer in here, because my hat's trying to talk? So Ouija boards are not bringing you good energy.
I'm not doing it.
You have to be careful with what you ask to come see you, because everything exists, and you're actually trying to channel things that you might not want to talk to or know how to deal with. Now, having a hat that supposedly has something in it, but this house is blessed. I mean, I can go through all kinds of ways that anything here is a good spirit. I didn't even know there was. Thank you, hat. He agrees. I didn't know anything else was still here, but obviously he's here, and we coexist. Because he's got my best interest. He's got my back, or he's got my head, and I got his. Or his under. I guess I'm the bottom, the top. That's getting confusing and gross. But in any case, going and doing a Ouija board and call it in God knows what, or devil knows what I should say, that's a bad thing. And I really wouldn't want our listeners or little kids in the audience hearing that. That's my opinion. There.
Yeah. Well, I'll send Bob into a church to get some holy water.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Can you imagine seeing Bob walking in church with a little bottle of holy water?
I need to borrow some of this. And Namani Padre and Espiritu Sante. Here's some water.
We should bring it in a flask. That'd be funny too.
But let me ask you, let's ask that question now. Now, everybody says Ouija board are more evil than good. With your two experience, paranormal and witch goddess, do you feel that's true, that a Ouija board is more towards evil versus good?
Good question.
Absolutely not. It's all about your frame of mind and how you go into it and what your expectations from it are.
So your mind, if you're a good person, if you want to talk to somebody good, you might more likely get somebody good, where if somebody's trying to maybe have, I don't know, bad thoughts or doing it for the wrong reason, they might be bringing in the evil spirit versus the good one. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Or somebody that just doesn't know what they're doing. Somebody that knows what they're doing could bring in the wrong thing and not want to, if you just don't even know what you're doing. So I say they're very...
I agree with that. I do. It is a tool. It is a tool, and the Ouija board originated as a witch board. It's been around for a very, very, very long time. So if you go into it with an expectation of, the stereotypical horror movie that we've been fed throughout how long, then you're probably going to get that. But if you go into it with the open mind of, we are simply using a tool. There's nothing, it's just like me picking up a hammer and hammering a nail into a piece of wood or something.
And I guess if I'm going to do it with the group, you want to make sure the group has good thoughts too, not have that one person who's there for the wrong reason.
Yeah,
make sure you close out your sessions.
Yeah, I think it is a pistol. I look at it as a gun, like a pistol. A pistol can be used for sport or whatever. There's a reason for it, but there's no reason to use that fucking pistol. You don't bring a bunch of people together and have them play with it.
Exactly.
Would you
hurt someone?
What do you call that?
You guys want to play with this?
Yeah, but you also don't give a pistol to a toddler, and none of us really know what the heck we're doing in this spiritual world. So it's kind of that too. So you gotta watch out.
It is. I agree with that also.
Now, what do you call it? Like the Annabelle doll, where the doll itself wasn't possessed. What's that name where Annabelle brings in evilness around the doll, but not the doll itself is not technically possessed. There's a word for it.
Conduit,
yes. So can you explain to me what exactly is a conduit and how something becomes a conduit?
It's pretty much like a magnet. I mean, like I'm a magnet for spirits to come and talk to me. So the spirit that's within Annabelle or supposed to be within Annabelle, she's just a giant magnet for spirits.
Okay. Now, how would I be? I mean, I'm not good at this, but how would I know if something is really possessed or is just a conduit? Is there a way to find out, like, a possession versus a conduit?
That's really a tough one. Yeah. I mean, just like being a house possessed or a person being possessed, I'm pretty sure a doll could be possessed. I have one that I'm not too sure about right now, but
oh shit! Look at Bob. Ghost lives matter.
That's where communication comes in, and that's where you have to actually talk with them.
Yeah,
hey,
if a person
he stole mine. Mine said that for like half an hour now. He's taking my joke. See, the hat agreed. Did you see it?
Bob, what are you doing trying to steal Silly Fan Man? What are you playing with, the Ouija board or something? Okay, what's the difference between a haunting and a poltergeist?
Oh, that's easy.
Well, somebody wrote poltergeist in the chat. That's why I was asking it.
Okay. A haunting is ghost spirits, boo. Okay. A poltergeist is something that was never real or anything like that. A poltergeist is an energy that is created by someone. Okay. Usually a girl coming into puberty, maybe somebody with psychic medium gifts, they put off this energy of emotions that causes happenings within a house. that is a poltergeist.
So poltergeist is somebody's DNA. Then, if you bring a bad spirit, it's like giving a DNA out there, right? In a way,
a poltergeist comes out of someone.
Yeah. I think that it can be that as most of the time, but it's usually just a malevolent or disruptive spirit. So sometimes a spirit or ghost will become a poltergeist to get what they want, if they're pushy.
Yeah, because somebody's menstrual.
Yeah.
Somebody's menstrual.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the poltergeist. I mean, but most of the time it is, like you just said, Nicole, where you have somebody there, in that home who's creating that energy.
Right, but a poltergeist was never a human spirit. It was created by the person that's having the problems. It's their energy.
So would that movie Poltergeist be kind of wrong? Because in the movie The Poltergeist, the idea of the movie was they wanted this girl so she could lead all these ghosts to the light or back to reality. So would that not really be a poltergeist because there is an actual spirit behind it trying to bring the person in to lead them to the light?
Because she was being manipulated by a spirit.
Okay. So that wasn't really a poltergeist.
Will hide itself within poltergeist activity. And demons also do poltergeist activity. So, it's not just somebody's mental activity and, their own energy that they're not controlling. It's not just that. It is combined with that in a lot of instances, but not every time.
So, and I was kind of weird thinking about it because, like if something's happening to the house, first you got to think of it: is it a person that's dead that's haunting it, or is it a poltergeist from a bad?
Yeah, they didn't like him talking about
out. Or like I'm talking about that. So now you got to determine: is it a poltergeist? Is it a ghost, or could it be a demon? So I mean, there's a lot that something could be.
A poltergeist is pretty easy to explain.
Like wolves.
Anytime you center energy in a specific way, you're going to disrupt the matter that's around it. So I could, you could, like you said, what it was, a guy in the subway can teach you how to do the flip thing. It's the same thing. You're focusing your energy. There is an entity focusing its energy. It's a person who doesn't even realize that they have this much energy, and it's just going all over the place. Like you said, they're going menstrual. It happens. So, like during the times that women who are menstruating, actually, it's throughout the month. It's just different cycles. But during menstruation, our energies are insane because we need that energy because we're supposed to be reproducing a life in our body. So it goes all over the place.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. As soon as women become, menstrual. As soon as they become menstrual, this thing comes around and protects the female. It fucked everybody else up. But you said it. Because you're menstrual and you're able to have a child, they protect the woman.
Oh yeah.
Like a damn guard dog.
Well, Bob, I think the ghost ain't protecting you. You're chopping in and out. I think the backyard is I don't think your wireless is reaching the internet signal that good. Yeah. But I know we're getting closer to the end, so that's man. Do you have any questions you want to ask our guests before we end the show? Anything you want to know?
No, I'm fine. Hat, you want to? No, Hat's fine too. So no, I have nothing.
I don't know what the hell Bob's looking at. He's frozen, like looking at something below.
I just want to say thank you guys. And thank you to all the viewers. Thank you to everybody who, just at least discusses everything that you guys talk about. Because, you approach it with an open mind. And I know that I don't agree with everybody on everything, but I still respect the fact that you have your point of view and that you're here talking about it and that we're able to have an amazing discussion, without criticism, violence, attacking people, or saying, no, you're not right, and that's going on so much in the world right now that we need this. Like, I'm sitting here thinking I feel like I'm making a stop in the neighborhood, internet pub or something like that, where you're able to sit down and talk with people and, you're accepting of other people's ways of being and their choices. So I just want to say thank you.
No,
and
we
Tony,
all try
I've
our
got to
best.
say that I do. I agree. I love talking to anybody's opinion, whether or not you and I agree on the Ouija board. But we actually found we had common ground because you're right. It is a tool like a gun, like you guys. I'm totally on board with that. My only thing is this bothers me because you had a really pretty face, and please look into
It does.
the other channels that we've been talking about why people wear these and why the government's telling what they're doing, because there's a lot of information out there, and I don't want to upset you because I really enjoy you and I seem like I am the guy getting in trouble with the guest, but thank you for coming on there.
Thank you. I do have a funny story about that. My office is my home. I don't need to wear this mask right now. I'm wearing it as a statement.
What's your statement?
Fucking ridiculous. Okay, this is ridiculous.
Oh, well, you didn't tell us that. Then take it off.
Hey, I don't need to. I don't feel like I need to over-explain myself too much because the point is that people need to know that this is really happening here in California.
Yeah. Well,
this is going down for real, and it's not easy. Let's say that it's not easy.
Yeah.
People
then I say take it off. That's what I say. See, now you can breathe. Oh, I love it.
You saw me struggling breathing, right? Because that was one of my other points. Is that like, for me, it's very difficult to breathe in the damn thing. On top of that, my glasses are fogging up, and so this is my way. People don't understand it. That's fine. I don't care. But that was my way of saying, look.
So that was like art. You were like.
It was a form of art. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I like that.
Okay. I'm kind of glad I brought it up because otherwise we wouldn't have known, and I'm really happy that you explained that.
No, some people who know me know, and people who follow, what I do and what I stand for, they would understand.
But you got to understand too. I love this, the fact that we all stayed here. There's some things in the chat that were making a comments. Obviously, everyone was aware of it. I'm sure I'm guilty of a few things. Obviously, Robert did a few things, and you hung in there. And you didn't break character, and we were able to prove that even with that crazy difference, we were able to have a discussion and have common ground. And if this is what the experiment was, I say bravo, because wow, you just really flipped my head at the end there. You really did. You really did.
Thank you. Spread the word. Spread the word, honestly, because this is the only way we're going to get through this. We are going into the age of, I'm sorry, I'm saying we're going. No, baby, we're here. We're in it. Spread it. The only way we're going to combat what we're going through, not only individually, but as the world and the universe, we are synchronizing. The galaxies are synchronizing. The planets are synchronizing. The universe is synchronizing, and we are here. So you have to get out there, and you have to put this out into the world. Put your love and your passion out into the world, and do it with love, because that love is going to change everything.
You blew me away today. You just blew me away. This was something.
Thank you guys. And so
good.
With that, I'm gonna head out because I do have my chickens running around my house right now. I have to go clean up their mess. So.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on, because it was short notice for you to jump on from Wednesday. Saying, "Hey, you want to come on?" And you said yes, and you came on at short notice. I appreciate that.
Hats off to you.
Yeah. I wanted to. I appreciate the offer. I appreciate the
invite. I'll put the little one on for you. How's that? I do that for Robert.
I want to talk with your hat, and I want to talk with your.
I love the yarmulke.
If you guys ever decide that you want to actually explore that, let me know, and I would love to, because I do a lot of work online.
I would be fascinated to talk with her again on something about this without the mask.
But without the mask.
Yes. Wow, you're something else.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I honestly, I love the paranormal, because I feel like the answers that I'm looking for is in the paranormal side. It really is. I mean, we're all searching for answers through people who's alive, but like you said, dead people's got feelings. They were somebody. I feel like some of the answers could lie with them. So it's not a joke when I'm saying that I really want to see one. I'm not seeing one because I want to be haunted.
Right.
I want to know things. I want to see things. Why are things happening? Why is Mandela effect? Why things changing? Why are moving changing? Why are 13 appearing? Why is Bob saying 13s everywhere? You know, why, like, why is the Bible changing? I feel like some of the answers can be in the afterlife.
Yeah, well,
and
there's
I know
spirits that could tell us that. The problem is, like we were discussing, if you don't know what you're doing, you might not get the ones that are here to help you. They're just going to mess with you more.
Yeah.
And you're right. And that's why I want to talk to people like Through the Veil, Paranormal, the Witch Goddess, to get on that right path, to maybe where one day I could learn to horn in on a spirit and actually have a conversation without being harmed, without like the evil spirits coming.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry, I can't get it out of my head. I really do want to talk about that subject because you know how much I enjoy listening to Nicole and all you guys. But what just happened there was such a mind experiment. It's blowing me away because everyone in the chat thought she was for it. We all thought she was for it. I did my best not to say anything, but it was driving me crazy. So think about what these do to the general public. Think about the what do you call it? The fear and the anger and all the anti stuff that these represent when we see them. I mean, everyone here immediately kind of got like a wall against it. I still was trying my best to listen to what she had to say because there was a lot of things that I was agreeing on or listening to, but I couldn't get past this. And the fact that she did that as a mind experiment, I mean, that was incredible because we all
know
that's awesome
at this.
You saw me in the chat. I was trying to offend her, like people were saying, make her take it off. Like, well, she's at work, she has to wear it. You know,
no,
like leave her alone. Leave her alone. You know,
and she's experimenting, man. That's what I do. I experiment all the time. She's experimenting. That's awesome.
We got to get her on the show with us, Robert. We got to talk. Yeah. We got to break this down, man. That's something.
I always experiment in my shows, man. I do it on purpose just to test people. And the mask is beautiful.
Now we still got a few minutes. Val, has any spirit, I don't know, at all, talked to you at all on what's going on with these masks by any chance? Was there, like, why are people wearing this? Has there been any, I don't know, anything weird with the spirits on this?
The only thing I've seen weird.
They got her now.
With the spirits is the veil is really thin. I, as a medium, know there is something bigger coming. I can't explain it. There is something bigger coming. But
did you see that when she said that? My hat just made my screen go like this. Yep. Right when you said
it flickered. That. Big time flickering. So you're feeling that something bigger is actually still coming, like the second wave of this virus, or what do you think the second wave? What's your opinion on it?
What I have seen in dreams and visions, and I've already told my mother about this, is if you're a doomsday prepper, wonderful. I mean, because I see such mass hysteria. I cannot get it all together. It's just so chaotic of what's coming. If you can imagine looking at a tsunami and you got 5 seconds to do anything, it's going to be that quick. I mean, there is something coming, and I cannot put my finger on it yet. I just know that we as people need to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
See, I believe you. That's what I'm talking about. The spiritual side, trying to find answers on the paranormal side. It's there. But what it is, that's what we're all. I gotta say one thing about the people who are watching the show today from the chat. I appreciate every single one of them because I know that some people who are into the Mandela effect are only into the Mandela effect. If you talk about something else, they're not there. They don't care about anything else. They say they do, but we all know there's a percentage that don't. So the 46 to 50 people that we're watching, I appreciate every single one of you because you're opening up your minds to everything, not just, well, they're not talking about Mandela. I don't want to watch it. You guys are watching us talking about something that I don't think we talked one thing about Mandela effect really at all today.
No, I did. I threw them in there. You just don't listen to me. It's just like my wife.
No, I do, but very little. Most of it was the stigmata and exorcism. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody in the chat for sticking in with us today. I appreciate
and
that.
I honestly think we didn't even get too far into it because of this little experiment. So it would be something we should check into, maybe more information.
I thank y'all for having me on.
No, you jumped on kind of a short notice too on a Wednesday. And guys, I'm not lying. I tried to get a minister and a priest to come on too. Bob, you know, I sent, but nobody wants to come on from the on the church side. I'm not saying they got anything to hide, but if you're really preaching stuff, why are they afraid to come on shows? We're not assholes. We're not trying to say you're wrong or right. But why don't priests and ministers go on shows?
And I was actually thinking I might have somebody that would help you out. He is a minister, and was the youngest U.S. Marshal. He is of the FBI, so he might be able to like cover a lot of your stuff. It is my uncle.
Hey, any day you could. If you say you could get him on a Tuesday, on a Sunday, on a Wednesday or Friday, you let me know. And we'll make the time around his time.
Okay, I'll get in contact with him. And I mean, he doesn't know anything about yards or anything, but
I mean, being a U.S. Marshal too, that'd be a hell of a conversation.
Yeah. He's interesting.
As long as you don't arrest that Frozen guy. Oh, he's gone now.
Okay, I just did a little experiment. I put the hat on. Robert froze. You started getting choppy. They took it out, put it over there.
He doesn't want to be on today.
I think he's back.
Knock out Robert. I just put the hat back on.
So
I'm back.
What we're gonna do is we are gonna end the show. I want to appreciate the Veil coming on, the Witch Goddess coming on. It's a fun conversation. And when we end the show, Silling, stay on, because I know you have a question about 5G. So stay on after. We could talk right here. You know, we're on. We don't have to do a phone call because we got streaming right here.
After this
We'll do it after the show is over. So I want to appreciate everybody coming on. Veil, you want to say anything? They got a show coming on this weekend. Are you doing anything that you want people to watch?
Wednesday, I am going to look into this house on a live investigation. If anybody's interested in the spooks, yeah, we're gonna try to figure out what's going on here. And
her channel is in the description, people. If you go on my description, her YouTube channel is right there. I'm there Wednesday. What time Wednesday that you might be doing this?
I usually go on from 8 to 9, but usually when I'm dealing with the spirits in this house, I go on from 9 to 11 because they're more active in the evening.
Are you Eastern time, Pacific? What your Central time zone? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And guys, Silly Fan Man he's doing an Awakening, Brian, Stavely, and Karen B tonight, where Bob and I was on their show last night. So that should be a good show too. And Silly Fan Man said he will do a chicken dance for us on that show tonight.
No. You said you were going to do one here today because you got 5,000 subs and we didn't see it.
Chicken song.
Woo! So, all right, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Silly Fan Man, stay on with us.
I'll see you all
have
tonight.
a good one, people.
Tonight it's
see ya.